Fiji are 3 minutes away from a famous victory over Australia at the Rugby World Cup. They lead by 22 points to 15. Their lead was even greater not so long ago after Frank Lamani's penalty put them 22-8 up. But Australia still have hope thanks to a Suliasi Vanavulu try. But as I say, we're into the 78th minute now. There are 7 points in it, and Fiji are within touching distance of what would be a first ever victory over Australia at a World Cup and would keep their hopes alive of qualifying for the quarterfinals. They suffered that narrow defeat to Wales in a thrilling opening match, but it looks like they are going to take the victory here to keep them in with a chance of reaching the quarterfinals and deal Australia a real blow to their hopes of making the last eight. A huge blow this will be for Eddie Jones with a massive match against Wales coming up next for the Wallabies. 2 minutes to go. Can Fiji pull off that famous victory? We'll keep you right up to date. South Africa fly half Andre Pollard has been called up to the Rugby World Cup squad after recovering from injury. He replaces Malcolm Marx. That came after the Springboks produced a ruthless performance earlier to thrash Romania 76-0 in Bordeaux, which included a hat-trick from scrum half Cobus Reinach inside 25 minutes. Makazole Mapimpi also scored a hat-trick in a 12-try win. South Africa made 14 changes from the team that beat Scotland. Reinach's treble is only the second fastest hat-trick in Rugby World Cup history. He holds the record after scoring 3 against Canada after 20 minutes in the last World Cup. Next up for the champions, they'll face Ireland. That's next Saturday in the most anticipated game of the tournament. As for England, they can take a big step towards qualification for the knockout stages if they can beat Japan in Nice tonight. James Cole is there for us and sets the scene.
Good evening from Nice, where the atmosphere is building ahead of this England's second World Cup pool match against Japan. The first, a gutsy win over Argentina with 14 men, has released pressure and raised expectations on Steve Borthwick's men. But Japan is no gimme. They have a recent record of causing World Cup upsets. 2015, they shocked the world by beating South Africa. Then 4 years later, in their home tournament, they beat Ireland and Scotland. It's been a tough 4 years since. COVID hasn't helped. Japan have dropped to 14 in the world rankings, and the last win over a top-tier nation was that Scotland win in Yokohama 4 years ago. Johnny May, the England wing, though, says they're taking nothing for granted tonight.
I dread to think how it would have been in camp if we'd lost that game. To be quite honest with you, it's been a tough four weeks, 6 weeks or so for all the hard work we put in and to have the things thrown at us that we have. But testament to the team to stay tight and keep focusing in. It's very, very hard to get distracted by outside noise and opinions and everything else going wrong around you. But the belief to stay intact and focus in and then to produce a performance when we really needed to is testament to everybody, not just the coaches and the players, but the whole backroom staff and everybody here. But that said, it's only one result. We went from zeros to heroes in a week, and we don't want to slide back down to a zero. So we know where we stand with that. We're not too great, we're not too bad, but we just know we need to get better, and we want to keep working hard and improving. Rugby is a cruel game. It can catch you out at any point. Anything can happen in any game, in any moment, in any week, in any training session. And that's why you've got to be on it. You've got to be on it all the time and just do everything you possibly can. And even when you do that, sometimes rugby can punish you anyway. So I live with that bit of fear. I think the boys do as well. But some boys are more reward driven and they will want to get the win to feel the reward and get the fans behind them and feel those positive things. I'm probably more threat driven, worried about things that can go wrong. But either way, rugby's got to keep you on your toes at all times. And like I said, Japan are a dangerous team. They move and pass the ball more than any team in the world.
So England looking to follow in the footsteps of Ireland and Wales, who secured bonus point wins last night. And we're hoping no repeat, though, of the scenes here yesterday where they ran out of beer at half-time. Welsh fans were not happy. England fans will hope that doesn't happen again.
We're happy with where we are. We're not content, though. We still feel there's loads of improvement. Even last week we won all our ball, but it wasn't the delivery wasn't as tidy as we would have liked. So there's definitely areas to improve. Even with our more solid, but probably not as dominant as we would like. So yeah, another area for us to take a step forward.
performance last weekend was just the start. It's just the foundation of what we want to try and build on. If we're going to win a World Cup, which is what we're here to do, we know that we're going to have to kick on from where we were. And yeah, that's been the main focus for us this week. I think there's some huge threats coming out of the Japanese team. We're aware that they're a very good side. It's great to be able to have Steve, to have his insight into the players that they have in particular. And yeah, we're very aware that we know our opposition really well, and we're also aware that we need to put our game on the field. Look at their record at World Cups. They've been absolutely fantastic and a brilliant team to watch over the last 8 years, and we're very aware of that. From what we've seen, they're a great side. If you look at some of their games against Tier 1 teams, you know, they run a lot of them close, and you know, have had some good victories themselves also. So they're a very well coached team. They've still got some great players, and yeah, the focus for us this week has been making sure that we try and kick on with our game and build on the good foundations we put out there in terms of the character and fight we showed last weekend.
It is all over in Pool C, and what a result. Fiji have beaten Australia for the first time ever at a World Cup, and for the first time since 1954. They've won by 22 points to 15. They led 12-8 at half-time thanks to 4 penalties from Kuruvoli. Australia had the only try of the game at that point. Fiji stretched their lead in the second half to 22-8 when Josua Tuisova went over. Australia pulled it back to within 7 with a Vunivalu try of their own, but they couldn't score again. And it's a Fiji victory. So a huge win for them. Australia and Eddie Jones must respond against Wales in what is a vital match for them next time out. They did get a losing bonus point by being beaten by only 7 points. So both Australia and Fiji now level on 6 points. It's Wales who lead Pool C after 2 bonus point wins so far. But a huge story there at the Rugby World Cup this evening, with England-Japan still to come at 8 o'clock.